your favorite mental health podcast. Let's just call it what it is, right?
I guess that's cool.
Let's just say it. Let's just put it all on the table.
It's mental health unhinged.
Which isn't... Is that mental illness? It's fine. All right. Well, welcome back to the Queen's Arsenal. We are back with season 2, episode 2. Friend, how you feeling?
I am feeling a lot of positivity.
Ooh.
So I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm at peace. I'm calm. I'm good.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
What
that
about
a
you?
lot.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling really confident. You know, we were talking earlier.
Like
I had
that.
my first personal training session. Ate that. No crumbs. Don't know how I feel about the trainer anymore, but they say if you like your trainer after a session, did you even train? So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I feel like I can take on the world right now.
Yeah. That's what's up.
You know?
That's what's up. So, friend, like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always have our standard of how we like to go about prepping
Yes.
for our podcast. And we go in with great intentions.
We do. We try.
And it slowly unravels. But then it comes right back to that sweet spot. And that's what I enjoy about the process.
Ooh, the alignment when it actually aligns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, what was I saying early? You make plans, God is laughing at you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He laughs at us quite
100%.
often. Very much so.
We try, but we also had to give ourselves some time because last week was the holiday. So happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, happy
To all of you as
holidays.
well.
Yeah.
We hope you had a lovely day filled with love and prosperity, and that anyone that had anything negative to say, you immediately blocked and set a boundary against.
Done.
Yeah, we don't do that. Blood is not thicker than boundaries.
Okay.
But
Tell
it
'em
gave
again.
us, a little extra time to try to figure things out because we were trying to get our meeting in, and life was just lifing. It wasn't working.
Life was whooping our ass, rightfully so.
Per usual.
Well, not rightfully so, but just, it's become such a norm. And we were talking about our ass being whooped.
Yes.
We were talking about why we weren't even able. We were supposed to be meeting about the podcast.
Ooh.
And, we realized that we had to check in with each other.
Yeah, we needed each other.
Not
We
the
needed
podcast.
Friends, not business partners in that moment. It very much was. We literally probably like 4 or 5 times were like, I'm going to just get this out and then we can talk about it. I'm just get this out and then we can talk about
But
it.
there was so much to get out.
It needed to be.
So, which brings us to what we talk about today.
What we talking about, friend? What we got?
Resilience.
Ooh.
Because we discovered, and literally, our meeting did become what it needed to be. Because right before we got off the phone, we were like, are we talking about resilience? And that was it.
I think we figured something out.
That was the end of the story. That was how it went. That was everything. So I want to start off and set the tone, get the energy right for everybody.
Let's do it.
With a quote.
Okay.
And the quote says, resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. And that's by Mary Holloway.
Yes, Mary.
Yeah.
Mary, for real.
She did her big one with that.
That was a
one.
word. Honestly, because you know how I feel about accountability, friend.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about taking responsibility for your own life. I think we spend so much time looking for all the reasons that things are going wrong.
And let's unpack this quote,
Let's
though.
do it.
Let's unpack this quote because I think sometimes you have to really, take a moment to pick apart what you're, reading or what you're processing.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, resilience is knowing. And when I think about knowing, I think about without a shadow of a doubt.
Ooh.
I think about can't nobody tell me otherwise.
Unmitigated.
I like that word.
Yes.
So the knowing that you, not,
Me.
not your mama,
Not your sister.
not your daddy,
Not your man.
not your cousin,
Not your friend.
not your therapist.
Ooh. That's your boss.
You
Uh-huh.
are the only one that has the power, power, right? Power. When I think about power, it's just like it gives a sense of control for me.
Ooh, strong tower.
Yeah.
Steadfastness.
Yeah.
I like that
Come
a
on,
lot.
Bible.
Okay.
Come
I'm
on,
there.
Bible.
We were just talking, friend. We're in the same bag.
And
I
the
got you.
responsibility. And you was just talking about it.
Yours.
It's yours.
Oh my goodness, there's a quote. It may not be your fault, but it is still your responsibility.
Indubitably.
And I love my favorite time to use this is when I'm talking to someone in customer service, if I'm being frank. Because I want to be clear, I know you didn't do it. And I'm sorry that you have to figure it out, but you do have to figure it out.
You gotta.
You're gonna have to sort this out.
What you say is above me now.
And in your hands are God's. You choose. So
in your hands are God's.
Is somebody gonna figure it out?
That's the one. But to pick yourself up, right? So that is an all-encompassing thing that we have to do. And you know, before we get into the meat and the potatoes, child, because you know we like to dive in. I'm about to dive in.
Oh.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about a definition. So it's from the same place we got it from last time, the American Psychology Association, or psychological. So it defines resilience as the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands.
Read that last part
so there was a
Run
lot.
that last part back. Give me that, like the last 2 to 3 sentences.
There was a lot there. There was a lot there. There was a lot there. So first of all, like, resilience is insurmountable.
Ooh. The vocabulary is vocabbing today. I love that for us.
Today. It's insurmountable. We heard the definition. There were like how many different things that we
Like
had
15.
to account
Your
for.
mental, your emotional, shit, your financial. Just throw it in there. All of that.
And then you got to go to internal and external, because not only is it in the inside, you got to worry about the outside, because shit be happening on the outside.
Ooh, and if you were here last week, we talked about how difficult it can be to navigate both the internal and external regulation.
Baby.
Hun, that's an advanced class.
Master class. It's a master class.
It's
a master class, child.
Ooh,
but you got to go through some shit to get to the master class. Let me tell you that, baby.
Yours.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like we're going through this process of what resiliency is, or developing our resilience at that. And I think, like, it's important to kind of highlight that you're never going to get resilience if you don't have struggle.
Ooh, how can you overcome if you've never known what it feels like not to have?
Yeah.
If you don't know, it's the yin and the yang, friend. It's the solace and sadness, the joy and the pain. Sunshine.
I'm going to be very vulnerable with y'all.
Here we go.
We about to get into it. So I was having a conversation with my coworker today, and I was expressing to her, like, there was a point in my life where things were amok, like financially.
Amen.
Which was never something that I had experienced. So I was always speaking from a level of privilege. All the time. Like, you know, I would have like family members calling me, asking me for like $20 till Friday.
Lord,
that
just go to sleep.
That one was my pet peeve. It was my pet peeve.
If you need to find $20 till tomorrow, just go to
tomorrow, because it's 8:59. How much more time what do you need to get $8.59 as $20 right this instant?
You gotta do it like crack. He'd be like, buy you some food. What you need? What do you need?
That used to piss me off. And then the second one would be like, how you got a job and you ain't got no money?
Lord, that's a question.
It used to get under my skin,
but, also,
then that's what I'm saying. But then, I
was gonna say, in this economy, friend,
there was a moment in my life where I had a job and I didn't have no money and I was flabbergasted.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck? What is this?
And it had to be different for you because you're an extremely fiscally responsible person. Like, you take since we're children, you've always managed your money very well.
Exactly.
So it's different for people that are
shock.
like, I don't have any money because, you know, I spend it on nonsense or I just don't track it or whatever. You manage your money and still.
I was shooketh.
Yeah, baby.
But this goes to say that that was a resilience thing that I had to build up because I was just laying in the ground. Like,
you had a moment. You had to, and I was trying to be gracious with you because I was like, girl, you ain't never had to finesse before? Like,
never.
You've never just had to figure out,
and
like,
I was so confused.
You were truly confused. It's not that bad. Like, you just don't pay that bill this month and then you pay them next. Like,
it was the phone calls. I had a conversation.
I remember
with my
on your
baby
birthday.
Daddy.
I was there. It was the I'll tell y'all what happened. It was the 4th of July. And I think a bill collector called, and she got off the phone. We're like, what's wrong? It's her birthday too, and she's just like, I just can't. They can call you on your birthday? That's ridiculous.
On a holiday. It was a holiday for me.
They will call you at 3 a.m. They don't care at all. What are you talking about?
Baby daddy was like, I understand. He was so gentle. He was like, I understand, because you never really had to like experience that in life.
I was disgusted. I truly was. I tried to be supportive, but I was in my heart like, I just don't understand what you don't understand.
She's not supportive like that. That's just like black cat golden retriever. We're gonna keep on highlighting it. She's not demure at all. Because like side. But yeah, the resilience factor had to be built. Like after that experience, a bill collector call, I answered the phone like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" They'd be like, "Yeah, just the pre-recording. This is a bill collector," and I would just be like. They'd be like, "Hi, is Cinderella?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, this is she." They'd be like, "Yeah, you're a couple of days late on X, Y, and Z." And I'd be like, I know. Yep, I'll give it to you when I get it.
As soon as I honestly, I also love that about you, because I don't even answer the phone. I know if I haven't paid you. And I mean, thankfully, I'm in a space in my life where I'm talking about past tense, but I've been there long enough to know exactly how that feels. Yeah. And I don't even know why you're calling me, because we both have the same information.
We both have the same information.
There's really nothing we have to talk about.
But they're just doing their job.
And let me not waste your time. You can use this 5 minutes on someone who may not know or might have it, because it's not me today. I appreciate that. Even we were just talking about your pure heart. Even in that space, being able to be like, listen, I'm trying my hardest,
and I literally be
and
like,
if I can level with you, if I can actually level with you on the 13th, I'm a have, and I can. But for right now, I need you to leave me alone, because I'm getting stressed.
When they ask me like, well, did anything happen? And I'll be like, yes, something did.
Yeah, you give me the life story. What is the shrimp from Shark Tale? My cousin had a baby and she died, and they had to take care of the baby. She has no arms and no
legs. Like, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I'm like, right. So, like, can y'all stop calling me?
No, they were like, if you could pay $100 today, we could put you on a payment plan.
No,
like,
it was one time. It was one time where they were like, you don't have a mother. I was like, what?
Okay. And that's why I don't pick up the phone, because don't even ask me. What if I don't? What if I don't? Yo,
because I can't pay the bill.
You should have been like, no, I just spent all my money paying for her funeral. Click, like, just buy. Why are you bothering me? Leave me be.
They were like, you don't have no family that could give you some money. And I'm like,
why
are y'all asking other people for my
on your
responsibility?
List, they're literally on your list. You're gonna have to call them after you call me. We're all in the same boat. We're all doing our best.
For real. But that resilience factor, it had to be built, and that was something about financial. That's one of the externals. Let's not even talk about the things that happen internally when we reach that point of failure of something that we built up and we believed was going to take place, and it didn't just follow. It didn't fall through like we thought it would.
Where am I going from here? What's next?
Yeah,
the resilience of that moment when the thing that you expected to work out, or maybe you didn't know how it was going to work out, it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
What do you do next? And that's when your resilience comes into play.
Yeah, and I think we both experienced that internal resilience factor being like exercise in the confines of romantic relationship.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all been like, this is where this is going to be, and this is how it's going to be, and then after happily ever after, and da-da-da-da, and then life was like, oh, really?
It doesn't work like that all the way. And we've talked about, the maybe not in certain terms, but uncertain terms, like the art of letting go and accepting that and understanding, like,
the art of detachment.
The art of detachment, for sure, and like releasing that shame and the guilt attached to that. But it is very much about what you do next, because you can let it go and then kind of still stay in the same place. You kind of become complacent or stagnant, like, well, that didn't work out. Yes, I've accepted it, but now it's just like, well, nothing ever is going to work out, and that's such a dangerous place to be.
It's an extremely dangerous place to be, but also dangerous enough. Dangerous enough if you have the right mindset, right? Ooh. So, like, certain times we need to be broken down to nothing, because our foundation wasn't as strong as it should have been in the first place.
Building mansions on beaches.
Like, it's beautiful. It looks great.
It's so pretty.
But as soon as those tides start rolling in,
honey, it's coming to the ground.
Shambles.
And that's what we saw with P. Diddy, but that's a different conversation.
We're not going to address that
it's
in
true.
this platform.
No, I'm just not that. But just quickly, like,
y'all see see the crazy in her eyes? Her eyes got big a little bit. Yeah, this just got activated.
It's the truth, though. The matter of a lack of foundation. And I've talked about this. We've talked about this. Like, there's a lack of having strong tower and tenacity and true resilience at your core. And that, after a while, you can be successful. You can. And I think that we always forget that, like, good things do happen to bad people.
Yeah.
It's possible to still be fruitful in that space and get to a certain extent. But eventually, it's always coming down.
Yeah, there's a quote. I don't know it directly, but essentially it says you don't know the character of a man when everything is going great. You discover the character when everything is going wrong. And you discover your resilience as well. You discover how capable and how powerful you actually can be when things aren't going the way that you planned it. Things aren't going the way that people told you it could be, in such a way that it was easy and it flowed well. But when it doesn't flow well, when it's not easy, how do you respond? How do you react? What internally are you feeling about yourself? Because it said, it's an internal and external thing. So a lot of times with resilience, we're challenged externally in our world, be that our children, be that our career, be that our impact into society. And sometimes we have those moments, like you said in the Diddy situation, here you are a public figure and people look up to you. People, they have dreams and aspirations because of the precedent that you set. But when that stops, who are you then? And how do you respond to that? What do you do? How do you shift into the person that can overcome the tragedy or the disrespect or whatever it is that may come with that? But then you also have to take a step back and look at yourself. How are you feeling about it? Because we can talk about how people want to slander us. We can talk about how people have their opinions and not have the full story. But you have the full story, and you have people out here judging you and giving their opinion. But how do you feel about yourself? Are you feeling like you failed?
And then in terms of the external as well, knowing that, like, again, energy is transferable, not created or destroyed.
Absolutely. That's
you
why I
are
like
a figure
touching
to people.
You don't touch me.
You are a figure in this world. So if you have this platform or this example that you've set and people have created this parasocial relationship with you, and then you turn into something very different. Think about like the guy from Nickelodeon, same concept, where it's like you're attached to so much greatness, and you've R. Kelly, like you've done Bill Cosby. I can go on. I don't know why they're all men.
Orlando Bloom. I mean, Raven Simone, because we all had that idea of who she was based
Britney
on
Spears.
what we seen.
There,
exactly.
You have this idea, and it's like, oh, this person represents so much for me, and then all of that comes crashing down. And not only, I mean, obviously that's more about you, but it affects that external narrative and that external relationship, because now these people are confused as well. Like, dang.
You just brought something up to my mind as far as like public figures or people that we look up to. And you know who I think has been doing a good job?
Who? I'm gonna tell you mine.
From Blue's Clues. What's his name?
Steve.
Steve, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to him on TikTok and stuff like that, but Steve has been replaced by several people, right? And we grew up with him.
Not in
but
our hearts.
Never
in our hearts.
Yeah, he's been out on his TikTok, and I seen one post, and he was like, hey guys, I know things are going bad. And
that was during COVID.
Yeah, and he was just like, how are you feeling? In the face of resilience, in the face of turmoil. Ooh. And this ain't even his job no more, y'all. Like, he's not the face of Blue's Clues.
It wasn't the character?
But it wasn't. And I'm sure that he probably experienced some things that we will never know about. But that is an example of what resilience looks like.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's an example of how you need to be able to build up yourself to withstand the tragedies that come into life, because they're gonna come. It's inevitable. Things aren't always gonna be perfect. They're never gonna be perfect, actually.
No, they quite literally.
They're never gonna be perfect.
Perfection is a construct.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's not a thing.
So it's just like those type of things. They pull out I feel like discomfort, tragedy, heartbreak, all of those
depression,
negative connotation things, they have the very real and very capable power to pull out the best in you. But you have to have your mind right. Ooh. You have to do the work. You have to sit with yourself. You have to understand. And you also have to be graceful.
Ooh, grace and gratitude. So when I think about it, I think that like some of the misconceptions surrounding resilience is that like it's supposed to be for someone who is extremely strong, or it's supposed to be like I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I made it work against all odds, and no one can stop me. And a lot of the times resilience feels very much the opposite of that. Like I can compare it to being my experience in the gym and like those days where I hate everything I'm doing. Like I'm not having a good time. There are days where I have a blast in the gym, and there are days that it's just like, oh, I'm ready to go, but I still keep going. And it doesn't always get better. Sometimes it doesn't get better until it's done. And I have to be like, oh, well, like that sucked, but I'm really proud of myself for showing up and being consistent. And then the rest of my day, make it better, because now I can look back on that and be like, you can do hard things. You can sit in a moment of discomfort or uncertainty and push through that. And the more you do that, we always talk about flexing that mental muscle. Like the more you practice that, the easier it does become over time. But it's not like an in the moment thing. It's not an instant gratification thing with resilience. It's something that takes time and consistency. You have to keep showing up that way in all the different situations.
I think what came to my mind when you were explaining that, because I was listening, I was feeling your energy, was that, you see people in the gym working out and they're shaking.
Girl.
They're shaking. Like that's a very visible, tangible thing that you can see of somebody that's strong. Literally. Somebody that's powerful. Ooh. They're shaking. Like things are like their body is fighting. Yeah, but they're still doing it. So that that's immediately what my mind went to when in regard to that aspect. And
is it like walking across hot coals?
Yeah, and I think I just love how life is so interconnected. One thing is not that separate from another.
Never is.
But we've been led to believe that it is.
Oh my goodness.
And I told you when we were on the phone and I was talking, I was like, but you know what, friend, what I can say about us, and we had to give ourselves a pat on the back, is we've survived 100%. 100% of all of our worst days.
And so have y'all.
100%.
That's
you
it.
You can't.
You literally have.
It's not. No, it's
like
not.
Cliche,
yeah, but it's not. When
really.
you really sit down and think about it, the worst days that you had, when you was crying, when you didn't know how it was gonna work out, when you was devastated, when you was angry, when you was doing things that you never thought you would do,
when you was doing things you had no business doing.
That part, you survived it and you got through it, and your track record is excellent. It's pristine.
100.
You didn't have a day where it didn't work itself out.
A+.
You didn't, and that is the result of being resilient. That is the result of actually showing up to life as you are without trying to circumvent certain situations
or make excuses.
Yes,
or cast blame.
Or even if you do though, you still get up and you survived it.
I got to keep going. I think that the way that you can access that, which I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, but I think it's a really big but a key component is having that gratitude. Because when we were having that conversation, it was a moment of being like, but thank you, God.
Yes.
But thank you, because you've brought me through so many things that I truly don't even remember how I got through. So many, and that happens all the time. Because you disassociated. So many moments where I remember the worst of it, and then it was done. But he carried me through. I don't know what happened.
I remember when I found out, and then through it, I got through it, and then I was able to look back and be like, damn, how did I get through that?
My God. Heart favorite.
Yeah, girl.
Shabak.
Come
and
on
then
now.
You just keep going, but having those reflection moments, which is why I appreciate our friendship. Because we do a great job of having moments where we really sit and be like, dang, this is what's going on. And even if we're not reflective, we're usually good about being
pulling it out of each other.
Like, friend, but did you notice that? I'm like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And being able to be in that space, it makes it easier to be resilient. So your support system too.
Yeah, 100%. We're always going to talk about that. This is a part of the reason why we created the podcast, was to create a community where you have the support when you don't feel like you got it on your own.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we're here. But, I think that we should always look for areas that we can exercise, building that muscle, because like you said, you build your physical muscle, you build your emotional, you build your spiritual, you build your mental, financial, it's all about building, right? And I think that it's very important that we kind of like take time, like you said, to reflect, even if it's unintentional, because that wasn't our intention.
No, it was not.
We were supposed to be talking about this,
and we had a totally different topic. We weren't even going to talk about this, but we have to bring you what is naturally happening.
And in the spirit on the Lord's Day, and let the Lord use us when he should and how he should. Amen.
I am but a vessel.
Okay, y'all better start paying y'all tax.
Don't do that.
I'm doing the Lord's word.
Said pay your to where?
To Queen's Arsenal.
Not the church of Queen's Arsenal.
I feel like we're doing the Lord's work, but that's the side note.
We do take gifts though, honestly. Sponsorships as well.
What they call it for the sick and shut in?
It's us. The sick, when they say the church is not good for the baby, who's the baby?
The tithe is for God. The offering is what you want to add to. So please add to. But on that note, y'all, we are going to go ahead and break. And when we come back, y'all already know how we do it. We're going to give y'all the tools of how do we build the muscle?
Ooh,
how do we flex? I can't flex.
I wasn't there with that trainer.
Right. Yeah.
Lord,
We about to train you. That's what's about to happen. So we will see y'all soon.